Hello, welcome to another cooking video. Today I'm making Dingo's special rice. So it's not to be confused with special fried rice because I'm probably not using any of the correct ingredients other than rice. Um, but it's cheap-ish. Rice is always cheap. It's just the vegetables now that start to get a little bit costly. But we got bacon, spring onion, capsicum, um, cannellini beans. So we're using cannellini beans just to build up the ingredient. I'm not using prawns, so it's not to substitute anything. It's just more ingredients makes it bigger, and then can be served or added into containers with a lot more in it without it. You're only emptying it into two containers because two containers is exactly how much. But if you add another 500 grams each or whatever, no, it's 420 grams. If you add 210 grams of this into each container, it's now overflowing those two containers, if you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, so cannellini beans, spring onion, capsicum, bacon, egg. No prawns, no other stuff. This is, the idea is to give us the special fried rice at home techniques. So anyway, we'll get started with, I'm just going to start dicing up some spring onion. So I'm using this spring onion for the for an onion element, but I don't want onion in it. So just try and get all these lopped off in one go. Actually, take that bin out so I don't have to keep turning away from the camera. Right. And I don't know if I'm actually using spring onion properly. I do know that I have a preference of how much of the spring onion I like. You can probably use the whole thing. I just don't tend to do so. But anyhow, let me just chop some of this up, and you'll skip to the end where I've chopped up. Okay, so we're almost done here. I'm not trying to make it too small. They're probably going to break down small enough as they are, but I'm also not trying to make them too big because when they don't break down, you just got big rings. So I reckon that is going to go out to the chickens. We have local chickens, so local chickens like to hang out. So where did I put the bag? Did I have a bag? I didn't have a bag. We're going to borrow a bag. Right, so next up on the rank is the capsicums, which I'm not going to use the whole capsicum in this one because I've got another meal planned for the other parts of the capsicum. So we're only going to do a small portion. I do have a new location for my plastic containers now. And I still went in here thinking they were in here. And I'm back. So I've got a couple of bowls here. I'm going to be cooking these ingredients into different at different times, or some of them at different times. Right. So I want to have them cooking at the same sort of rate. So we'll do some capsicums. Chose red and green just because the yellow was expensive. I think it was only like $4 dearer, but it was $4 I didn't want to pay. So how do I want to do this? I want to chop it. I might just prepare it as if I'm using the whole thing, but then it's already pre-cut for the next meal. So cut around the core. Careful of knives. Knives are sharp. Because I just felt the edge of the blade there. And that's the reason why I mentioned it as such. I use a teaspoon to clean the rest of it out. We'll save those ones. So these ones are going to go back into the fridge because these are going into another meal, as I have stated. Ta-da! Capsicum's gone. All right, so now I'm going to find... I'd actually know. I might just make these fit, and I'm going to use the blender. All right, I probably should name it. I know it's got a name, but I can't remember it. So if I name it something that doesn't make sense even. It might be worth calling it that, so then I can always refer to it, and then the people in the know. All right, so I'm going to chuck these in here for now because they need to be... spring onions done. We're going to move over to the bacon. Let me just clean up. All right, the bacon is going to get done by itself again. So this is long cut bacon or cooking bacon, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it long cut just because it's a long section of bacon. If it's something else and I've got it wrong, let me know in the comments. Because I don't know if you can say it, but it says cooking bacon, whatever that means. So we're going to just go with what we know. Right, so the bacon, I'm going to use all of it. I'm going to fry it all off, but I want it into tiny little chunks. So almost like little surprise, if you've ever had popping candy, right? You see a block of chocolate, not inconspicuous to the eye, and then all of a sudden it starts crackling away in your mouth. Having tiny little bits of bacon, well, maybe not so tiny that it's popping candy, but bad analogy. But I want to have it that there's bacon in it very thoroughly. And yeah, it just allows for an even distribution of such. So I'm going to do my best now to try and get this as fine as I can, and then we'll have to start frying it off. Right, so that's all my bacon done now. I'm going to be doing my bacon in the frying pan because the wok is very loved and is no longer non-stick. So I'm going to have to oil, season it and everything like that before I can do it. So this first time making my special Dingo special rice is not going to be done in a wok. But I do have one. I just have to use the non-stick one because this one's only going to give me a little bit more grief and a little bit more char on some things I don't want charred. So I'm going to use this thing here. It's not a wok, but it's the best thing I've got for this. So please forgive me. Anyway, get the bacon in there. All right. And then we'll start getting this on the heat. So I'm not after charred bacon. I'm after dry bacon. So there's a lot of moisture in the bacon. So what we're doing is we're drying it out. We're letting it get to the part where it's going to start cooking and charring. But by the time it does get to that, everything else will be all pre-cooked as well. So it should all work out fine in the end. Let me just start this real quick. All right, we get that on. Grab me a little mitten out because I'm probably going to need them at some stage. Okay, I'm going to get a new chopping board. Yeah, so that's going. This is going in shortly. All right, I'm just going to let the bacon get a head start. All right, I'm going to start blitzing up this. So when I come back into shot, all of this is going to be real fine and whatnot. So we'll be back. One. All right, so I'm also going to use some mixed veg, just because I realised that I didn't collect all the ingredients with a bit of forethought. I'm going to do mixed veg, but I'm going to put the mixed veg in here. It's going to cook at the same time. I'm actually going to sweat it out a little bit with the bacon once this is gone in, which I'm going to put some in here now. I'd probably say just like, I know, a cup, if that, really. Okay, so now I've got that done. I'm actually going to start chucking this into the frying pan now. My bacon, as you'd expect, I'm sure you've seen bacon get cooked before. It's starting to get nice and dry now. It's starting to oil up the pan as well, which is good. So I'm just going to throw this in. Get all them greeneries in. Give that a bit of a stir, and that'll just prolong how long it takes for the bacon to cook now, because it's changed the temperature back into the frying pan. Or wok, however you're doing it. Now, I don't have oyster sauce or anything like that, so it's going to be soy sauce instead. I'm going to put a bit of soy sauce in once the rice goes in, but we're not up to the rice just yet. Right. Cannellini beans. So I'm going to open them, I'm going to drain them. I really enjoy my baked beans. And, yeah, when I thought of making it with these, it was to kill two birds, one stone. I enjoy baked beans, but I don't like baked beans on toast so much that I prefer spaghetti on toast instead. So we're going to drain a lot of this liquid out, which my strainers are over on this side. So I am going to strain it out, and then we can move on to the next bit. One thing that keeps confusing me whenever I'm dealing with eggs, and I have to keep asking Google, and that is how to know when they're fresh. So recently, I asked Google, sink is good, float is bad. So I thought I'd make a YouTube video that I can always jump back to, or other people can jump back to. Let your mum know, let your nan know, let your dad know, whatever. That sink is good, float is bad. I should probably come up with a song or a little rhyme to it just to reinforce that in my head. And there probably already is one. If there is, let me know in the comments. So, my beans are done. I no longer need that. And here, I haven't found a more water-saving, efficient way to do this, though. Because you're still going to get the egg out. Now, that's sank straight away. Anything that sort of looks like the egg is tipping up, you probably want to use it within the day or two, because it's already starting to reorientate itself to float. So anything that's upways is still okay to eat, but anything that it takes too long to sink, or actually anything that takes too long to sink, today you use it, and anything that doesn't sink is throw it out. So that's not going to work out. See, I still don't know how to be efficient with water saving, so apologies. And I'm going to just put the ones that are working aside. Always be cautious. If it doesn't sink, throw it out. Yeah. And then just imagine, if it's horizontal in the cup, perfect. As it starts rotating, you're running out of days until eventually it's up in the water. That's how I see it work anyway. So yeah, I'm going to use 6 eggs. I'm going to give this a quick give this a quick stir. Now that spring onion, smelling really good in there. All right, so eggs, we've got them set aside now. I just need a bowl to put them in. And then we'll start on the rice. And 90% of my meals that I do on this channel is to bulk fill. So I'm going to need to get some rice going. So yeah, we'll get that started now, and yeah, cool as. So we've got a machine that we can slide out, and that is basically 2 cups, I think. Anyway, doesn't have to be so specific. We're doing bulk amount anyway, so we put it all in there, right? And people have this magic measurement of, equal rice to equal water. I just pour it in, and if it's over the thing, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to put some water in it. I don't want hot water because hot water could have different bacteria and crap in it. So I just fill it up. Yep, done. Right? Even if it is slightly over the top, right? It works out that the more moisture in there is going to trap that into the rice anyway, so it'll be good. I've never overfilled the water in it, even though it looks like there's way too much. Back to this magic thing here. So here's all my capsicum. All done. So I'm going to scrape that off into the fry pan now. That is a meanie. So the reason why I call it a meanie is because it never leaves anything behind. All of the good stuff that you want to just dip your finger in and eat, this got rid of it. That was not fair. So it was a meanie. Anyway, so I'm going to now use it to make sure I don't leave any of this stuff behind. Put it in the fry pan. And once we are up to the part of mixing it back into the fry pan, we will come back and we'll wrap up this cooking video. Right, so here's a quick update. Everything's starting to pan dry really nicely now, and there's lots of colours in there. So I like having rainbow meals because I like my vegetables. So the reason why I brought you back is I'm going to throw the cannellini beans in now. So once again, so you've drained them off, so most of the liquid's gone. But now what we're doing is starting to toast them a little bit. So we're just going to make sure that they're mixing with all them good veggie flavours. And all nicely starting to be able to get toasted. All right, so we're going to get these eggs now ready. You can use a fork. I'm using a whisk, but a fork would do the... Actually, I need... And some milk. I'm using lactose-free milk. Milk doesn't really matter too much. I'm using lactose-free just because I'm prone to bowel issues if I don't use lactose-free. But it originally was by choice, so it happens. Anyway, so where was I? I'm going to start cracking eggs. So get some of these eggs in here, trying to minimise shell in there because extra work to try and get it out. I'm going to put a little bit of milk in there. We do have seasonings that I'm going to put in. Right, so got some seasonings here. I got me cracked pepper. I love me cracked pepper. So a little bit of that. And some mixed herb. And you probably don't need a lot of that. One pinch, I'd say. So, and I'm just doing a little bit of onion powder. And a little bit of garlic powder. But it was like double layer of the stuff because I love garlic. Right, we got my seasonings. Just mixing it all in. And then that is heaps actually. That's really good mix amount of egg, right? Because we want to make sure. So in order of popularity, we'll say rice, then egg, and then controversially bacon, and then everything else, it doesn't matter. That's sort of the backbone to Dingo's special rice. So now that I'm fully convinced that that's mixed in well, I chuck that in the fry pans and then just mix it ferociously. If your pan's not already down low, you'll want to turn it down low just so you're not burning any of the egg. We got 4 minutes left on the rice, so we'll be back once that is done, and I'll show you the egg. So I emptied out the fry pan first. I don't want to put the egg in with it just yet because I want to make it all crumbly. So if you've beaten me to the punch, sorry. But yeah, you want to have the ingredients out first and then get the egg crumbly perfectly before you mix it in. Otherwise, then it sticks to the vegetable and such. So, yeah. All right. Egg goes in now. Empty fry pan on low. Mix and stir until it's all crumbly. Throw these ingredients back in, and we'll be back. All right. So eat. The timer's just gone off. All right. I've already let the air out, but this is the first time us seeing it. All right. You saw the water and all that. Just winging it. No water in there. The rice, super soft, super fluffy, and gonna go great in this meal. So let me just deal with this. All right, so this is the progress of the eggs. They're broken up into little fine granules sort of things. We're gonna start putting the veggies back in now to get that mixed through. And I'm not sure why I'm using my spoon when I could be using my meanie, but we'll be okay. We'll make do. All right, and mix the eggs through that. Looking good. Right, so we're now basically just mixing it in together. It's all done. So if you've been following along, you should be up to this part where you're starting to put some colour in your egg. All right, it's a good mix of vegetables to egg ratio as well. Like I think there's a lot more egg in there than there is veggies, which is still great, especially if you're a big fan of egg. If not, just take one egg out and it'll be a little bit less. If you go too much out, then it's not going to be egg. It's not going to be a Dingo special rice. So, and now I'm going to grab a scoop, and here's my rice. So I'm going to add some rice. All right, we don't want to add too much, otherwise it becomes a rice meal. So I'm probably going to have leftovers, but I'll get a mix in. See how that turns out. My special fried rice is done. I didn't end up using all the rice, but this allows you to make a base for something else. Maybe you just put on a piece of meat, and then you want a bit of meat and rice. Put this in a container, freeze it, warm it back up, have it as a side dish with your piece of meat or whatever you like. So this never goes to waste. We've actually got another one, another meal we've got to do, so that could probably go towards that. Anywho, so right now I have my mix of rice and veg ratio perfect. All right, there's my Dingo special rice. I'm going to add some sauce to it now. And as I said at the start, it's just going to be soy sauce. You can add anything you want to it. We don't have the, if I was actually going to use any sort of sauce, maybe I'd use like the ABC sweet soy, but that is very addictive. And we can't really have it in the house because I use it on everything. So I'm going to use Kikkoman soy sauce, just enough like it adds salt into it, because we didn't add any salt into the seasonings, and it just allows it to get a little bit more oriental in seasoning. So I'll give this a bit of a stir. So while I'm stirring, thank you for watching. It's been awesome having you along while I make my rice. I try to make every video that I do on the show new, something I'm making for the first time. Sometimes if it ever reappears, it's because I'm trying something else or mixing it with something else. So, subscribe, notifications on, whatever. I do live streams as well, maybe not so much cooking, but, IRL fishing and stuff like that. So if that's the type of thing you're into as well, I sort of like dabble in a lot of things. There's going to be a couple of pictures of a finished product in little containers here, and here. Almost forgot. I've got it. Right. Not sure when this is going up, but it'll be going up. There'll be another one as well. Not just yarning a Tangled ideas. Somewhere along the bottom of the screen. Go to there because there's going to be another one of me in it, but it's another recipe that I'm being taught how to do because I like to learn things too. So check that out as well. Link in the description. And I'll be seeing you in that one as well. Bye.